Welcome. I'm Bev Adams. I own an independent paper crafting business showcasing products from Stampin' Up. I made this gorgeous card with products from Stampin' Up. I sell these products and also a few items to make crafting more convenient. I have the free detailed directions for this project on my website, and you'll be able to just click the links for the products that you would like to be taken to my online store at Stampin' Up. You'll see where to find all of that at the end of the video, so don't worry about taking notes. It's time to put stamps, ink, and paper together. For this project, I used almost the entire Peony Garden suite. I used the stamp set, Prize Peony, and the dies. I'm using a square vellum doily and some of this gorgeous ribbon. This is the gray granite shimmer ribbon. Love this. And I'm using some of the elegant faceted gems. I'm using the Peony Garden Designer Series paper. And I have used this like crazy. For this card, I used these papers. This is the front and the back. And that I think is beautiful, but that is gone. I'm all out of that now. So for this card, I'm using this and this, but you could really use a lot of these colors. This Designer Series paper has both basic gray and the gray granite, so you might want to watch whether you're using gray granite or basic gray. And I will tell you that the hardest thing about this is finding the die pieces that you want. There are 17 dies in this, and the whole suite is very, very useful for a lot of different cards. So in order to make this a little less confusing, I photographed my dies sitting on top of the stamp case. So you get a die to fit around this large flower, a die to fit around this medium flower, and a die to fit around the small flower, and these two little leaves. And that leaves you with what I'm calling the flower builder dies. The core for these flower builder dies are these 4 pieces. This one looks almost like a normal die, but these look pretty square. And then you've got the flower center, and then there's several leaves, and the largest ones are these 2. And then these funny things that I think look more like, I don't know, some sort of medieval weapon. And these are kind of highlights for the leaves. My ink for this project is Petal Pink and Gray Granite. My paper for this project is Petal Pink, and this is 4 1/4, so it's half a sheet of cardstock the long way, but I have cut this off. So this is 9 3/4. You're still going to score it at 5 1/2, but I wanted this piece to be square. I have a 4-inch square of that Designer Series paper. This square is 3 1/4. You need some more Petal Pink for cutting out the flowers. I'm just using a couple of my small standard layers that are 2 3/4 by 4 1/4. I use the tiniest little scrap of Mango Melody. If you don't already have Mango Melody, that's okay. You can really use black or brown cardstock for the flower center. I went to Google Images and found some very similar flowers to this peony, and the flower centers were almost all orange. So you could actually cut this out of another scrap of the Petal Pink and sponge it orange. I've got some old olive for those leaves and a piece of garden green for the detailing of the leaves. And then I had a leftover fern piece from another project. I was going crazy and just thought I might as well cut lots of these. I love them. They're very useful. This is cut with the Forever Flourishing dies. If you don't have that, just leave that off. I'm also using some stamping mist, but you could also use the spritzer with a little alcohol in it, or even just water to soften the cardstock. And I'm using the mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. So step 1 is to score that petal pink. I've already done that. And then I want to stamp that large flower with the gray granite ink. And I want the top of this flower centered pretty much in this space here. And I have re-inked my gray granite since I did my sample, so hopefully it'll be okay. And I am going off the edge, so let me get a piece of paper underneath there. Then I want to adhere this piece to the gray. I guess it goes that way. Then I'm going to just add a couple of dimensionals, 2 or 3, to the center of the card and put my doily on top of that. And I'm kind of turning this at a diagonal. And we're going to be covering up the center with our flowers, so that won't show. Then I'm adding some adhesive to the card and just wrapping a piece of that gray granite across here. And then I can go ahead and adhere this to that front section of the card. My directions say to just wrap the ribbon around and tie a bow on this right side, but I'm finding that if I tie my bow separately, I actually get a prettier bow that tends to stay straight. The other option is to use my friend's bow maker and just adhere it on top, which is another wonderful option. And give it a little trim. And then we're going to make our flower. I'm doing some die cutting, so I need the number 1 platform and a clear plate. This is a number 2. And I'm finding that if I put the largest piece and the smallest piece on and roll it through, and these pop out really easily. And then another piece, and this is going to be the 2 middle-sized pieces. And then our 2 leaf pieces. Our 2 leaf highlighting pieces. I'm going to just squeeze this on with just that scrap of Mango Melody. So you can put this flower together at this point. Put the smallest one into the next larger one, just slide it in. And these are all the same on the bottom. So it's really just a matter of putting it in, sliding that down to match, putting these both in the bigger one, sliding these down to match, and putting these in the biggest one, sliding it down to match, popping in the flower center, and putting these leaves together and layer these. And this makes a really beautiful flower. But you can also step it up just a little bit by getting a sponge dauber. These come as a pack of 5. I keep them in this box, and then I offer this one of those helps to make crafting more convenient. This is kind of a map, and so if you go to this row, and the middle one is petal pink. If you don't want to keep them that way, you can always just wash these off and use them on similar colors. And so I'm just going to brush that top, and the sides of these square pieces will be hidden, so you don't need to sponge any more than that. And then this part that's the top of the cut part, and that's true for each of these. And that just takes just a few minutes. And you can sponge as little or as much as you want. This largest piece you might want to go all the way around. And if you tear these pieces, not to worry, you can just glue down the torn pieces and it will be fine. And you could put this together just like it is, and it will be even more beautiful. Oh, so pretty. And I'm going to take it one more step though. And this might be a little scary. I am going to spritz these. Just one spritz on each side. I gave 2 spritz. We just want this paper a little bit damp. And I am going to spritz these. And then I'm going to scrunch these. Now you can just ball them up in a little ball, or you can just kind of strategically scrunch these. Now when you're scrunching, this paper is delicate. It could tear at this point. So if you scrunch it up into a little ball, be very delicate when you open it up again. And I am finding that if I put these leaf pieces together before I scrunch them, it's better. They'll kind of fit back together a little bit easier. So you could actually scrunch them up into a little ball and then open them up again, being very gentle. You'll get more texture that way, but the texture will be a little bit more random. This one I just like to kind of squeeze it together and then again open it up. And I think I'm going to be strategic on these and just kind of curl the edges up a little bit. And you don't really need to scrunch the bottom of these pieces at all. It might actually be better to have them flat. And scrunching it kind of together like that is a good thing. I did not scrunch up the fern. You could if you want, but it's so delicate I just didn't bother. But then you need to be sure to set these aside to dry. Now you can use your heat tool to speed that process, but I have already done some and allowed them to dry. So let's put it back together, the smallest into the next larger one. And because these are all roughed up, they're not sliding in as smoothly, but they will go in. And I'm actually going to put a glue dot here just to hold them. These two go into this piece. And we'll do another glue dot. And if you do it up a little bit, you don't have to worry about them showing on the other side. And then these go into this one. Now if this is torn, you just need to glue each piece down here. And we'll match those on the bottom. And so they match up pretty perfectly. And isn't that just gorgeous? And I'll put these pieces on. I will be honest with you, these are kind of hard to glue without making a mess. So one of these is a lot more pointy than the other. So those match. So I'm putting glue dot on the front of the leaf this time, so I can glue it behind the flower. And glue dot on the front to put this behind. I still need to put my little center in, so I've got some glue on there. And just sliding this down into this deep V. And there it is. So pretty. So again, you can make this as simple or complicated as you want. Then I just need to stick my fern and my flower onto my card. I don't want to forget my elegant faceted gems. And these come in 3 sizes, 3 colors, and 3 kind of patterns. And I'm using a larger pink one, and then a smaller clear, and a smaller, this is kind of a whiter one. The greetings for this are a lot of friendship, my thoughts are with you, love and thanks. But I wanted a birthday card, so you can use this really for just about any occasion. I'm using it for a birthday, and so I'm using this from Peaceful Moments. Done. Here is the web address for this project, where you'll find the free detailed directions and links for the products I used. Just click the links and you'll be taken to my online store at Stampin' Up! Also on my website, you'll find a shop button. Under shop, you'll find products from Bev, shopping strategies, frequent shopper points, a link to my online store at Stampin' Up. When you click Products from Bev, you'll find information about sharing my current products notebook in Evernote and taggers. I started making taggers when all of those layering shapes came out, and it was so hard for me to figure out which one I used and how to tell somebody else which one I used. So I made taggers. Each tagger has the name of the dies, the item number, how many in the set, and each tagger has the size of that shape. I also sell my cardstock sampler, fine tip glue pen replacement tips, and large and small reclosable bags that I use for designer series paper, both the 6x6 and the 12x12. And I have a link for my friend's bow maker. Under inspiration, you can scroll my projects, look at the latest post, find out about the basics, which I've designed especially for new stampers, and techie tips. Under getting organized, you'll find links to stamp case slips, product labels, large labels, case inserts, ink refill cases, lots of coloring tools, a stamp pad storage solution for practically no money, catalog tabs, a quick reference, and a wish list with the catalog index, directions for my basic toolkit to go and my compact desktop toolbox. I have so many people looking for my Evernote current products notebook that I have a new tab just for that. You can find out how to share my searchable catalog. You can go to SIP Together and you can find out how to join my team so that you can either save money or make money. Thank you for stopping by. Talk to you soon.